Hello people, got a devotion for you from USA Today. This is the last one and then I'll be home fairly soon. Guys, we're talking about the peace of God. We're basing it upon the fact of the peacemakers that we need to be as believers, that blessed are the peacemakers, for they'll be called the children of God. That's Matthew 5. Now we're looking at the peace of God, with God's desire for peace. Yesterday we spoke about peace with God. But now today I want to focus on the peace of God, because you can't have the peace of God without peace with God. So we kind of got the order right, I think. Let's talk about the peace of God. Now, this is a huge subject. It's an enormous subject. It runs all the way through Scripture. You find so many great examples. So I want to share with you just one of them today, that when God's presence is acknowledged. We often say, I have the presence of God with me. I don't think we understand what we're saying, but we have the acknowledged presence of God when we really believe that in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the ups and downs and the undulating motion of life and the disappointments and the disillusionments, we often say, well, God is with me. Oh, we might question that sometimes, but it's the acknowledged presence of God that makes all the difference. Not just the presence of God. We all know there's nowhere where He is not. No, we know that. But it's the acknowledged presence of God that makes a difference. My illustration to you today is a beautiful one. You find it in the Old Testament. It's the story of a great prophet. His name was Elisha. And Elisha was on the run. King Ahab was after him because Elisha was trashing everything that Ahab wanted to do. And so Elisha was on the run. And he finds himself in the city of Dothan. It's a little city, maybe not that little. It had a wall around it, and he had a servant, and Gehazi was his name. And Gehazi was following Elisha everywhere Elisha went, and then in fear they went into the city, or Gehazi went to the city with Elisha. And in the morning he got up to do his routine thing, and he looked over the wall only to see that they were surrounded by King Ahab's army. And he panicked. He just got fearful. He runs down to Elisha. He says, Elisha, it's been fun while we've been doing all this stuff. It's been nice knowing you, but today's our last day. Ahab is outside the city wall, and he's come here to get you and me. We're dead. We're dead. Elisha is totally undisturbed, completely undisturbed. He's looking at that Gehazi, and he says, Gehazi, really, how long have you been hanging around me for? Have you not learned that God is the one who will have the final say in our lives? We're not too worried about Ahab and the armies that surround us. And then he prays a very simple prayer. And he says to God, God, won't you open my servant's eyes? Just open his eyes. Let him see why I'm not fearful today. And so suddenly Gehazi's spiritual eyes are opened. And he looks up into the heavens and he says, oh man, Elisha, now I know why you're not fearful. Look at it. Look at the armies of heaven. Look at the size of that angel. These chariots, this fire, compared to Ahab outside the city wall. Ahab's army is nothing compared. You mean those guys up there, those angels are with us? And Elisha smiles and says, yep, greater is he who is with us than he who's outside the wall. Man, that's a great thing for us to know today. That in the midst of the undulating motion of the disappointments and the sadnesses of life, to know that God is with us makes all the difference. But here's your job. It's the acknowledged presence of God that makes all the difference. Just to cliche this, that God is present with me, is not good enough. To say God is with me. He's right beside me. He's right within me. As believers, we know that He lives inside of us. God is with me changes everything when we acknowledge it. It's kind of like yesterday's, thy will be done, changes everything. Here's another one. You are with me. That changes everything. Now you're saying, man, Trevor, this is Sunday school stuff. Indeed it is. But until we get this thing right, we're not going nowhere. Until we get this thing right and get peace with God, we'll never understand the peace of God that comes simply because of the wonder of His presence. Just look at the scriptures, full of it. There's Mary in the garden, and she's weeping because Jesus has died. until Jesus shows her that he's alive now. And when she sees that and acknowledges Jesus' presence there, all of a sudden, peace restored to her soul. She's got peace with God because she has the peace of God, because she's acknowledged the very presence of God with her. So, again, to you guys today, whatever you're going through, when you sit down, take a quiet moment to say, God, are you there? I know you are. You are with me. In the midst of the fire, as per Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in the midst of the storm, as with the disciples in the middle of the sea, you are with me. People, that makes a lot of difference. I hope you find that to be true. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.